morning and welcome to the studio. We are on a huge creative adventure and we're creating 100 collages in 100 days. I know, right? It's been a little hectic. We're up to week 6 and this week we are doing the color yellow as we work through the fabulous colors inspired by the light spectrum. You know the one. The rainbow, the prism, the light beam. Yeah, that one. Week 6, yellow. I'm so excited. It's a beautiful color. Apparently it makes you happy. I don't know so much. I think this has been my hardest week. I really don't use yellow very much, even though it's a fabulous color. Yellow is fresh. It's sunny. It's a happy color. So this week should be easy, right? Yeah. Not so much. Come and join me and see how I tackle this color, creating 8 beautiful collages. Right, well, it's not a very sunny day in beautiful New Zealand. It is really overcast, and for the beginning of my beautiful yellow week, I'm not feeling the inspiration of the sun. Where's my sunshine? Anyway, I got enough beautiful yellow tones. I did some jelly printing because out of all the colors of the rainbow, I think yellow is the one I pretty much use the least. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I don't seem to use it that much. So I did some jelly printing just for this beautiful collage session as we're going to do 8 collages for week 6 of our fabulous 100 days of collage. Yay! I'm just loving it. I've got some beautiful colors. Now this is Indian yellow. This is this color. I also used yellow oxide, which is more of this tone here. And then of course white and black and some unbleached titanium. So these are the colors I used for all of these papers. It was rather fun. And of course I am going to splash gold with these papers as well. I put a little bit of gold pigment in some of them. That's pretty fun. And some of the fabulous painted tissues, I put some different inks of the golds, which I love. So I have some of that to use as well. Now, there are some pretty funny stories when it comes to yellow and Indian yellow, which is this color here. The stories go that traditionally the pigment was created from feeding cows mango leaves and then extracting their urine and turning it into the pigment for Indian yellow. I mean, seriously? Seriously? If your urine is looking this orange, something's going on with those kidneys. I'm just saying. If the cows were peeing like this, they needed to drink more water. Now, I don't really know. I've read it in a few places and I don't really know if the story's true. But the stories go on to say that when the colormen were sent the pigments, which were wrapped up in beautiful brown paper and string, they could tell before they unwrapped it what that pigment was going to be because of the stench of the ammonia from the urine. I mean, could you imagine having the job of following around the cows with a bucket to catch the urine to create into the pigment of Indian yellow? I don't know, man. I don't know if that would be worth it, but you know how these stories go. Of course, now we just get it in a beautiful tube and, you know, it's got no smell. So that's fantastic. I love these stories of where the pigments come from. Especially original pigments, we don't have that problem now. There's no smell when you open your tube of Indian yellow. Yay for us. So I've got a few of that. That's just beautiful. Love that color. Although I'm more partial to the yellow oxide. The more earthy tones, that's just me. Of course, once I did some jelly prints with the beautiful yellows, and I do have some lovely ones here. I mean, look at these colors. They're glorious. They'll be used. Of course, then I wanted to put a stencil on the yellow and I chose black, which looks great. So do you know how that went? Yes. Where did that lead me down? So then I did a black print. Of course I did. But, you know, the black and the yellow looks stunning. It wears well on bumblebees. I mean, seriously, it's beautiful. Oh, this one's got some powdered pigment. That is really cool, dropping in the powdered pigment. We're going to have to use that piece. And then I did some mark making on some other pieces. That was really fun. I love it. I love this one too with the circles. It started with the yellow ochre, and then of course I added the black and mark making and sprayed it with some gold mine. I mean, it's beautiful. I actually really like this piece. It's rather moody and dramatic, so, you know, my idea of bright yellow might not end up so bright. I've got some other pieces that are fabulous, that is going to work really well. And of course, you know that the gold is yellow, right? Look at this beautiful one that I did the mark making on the black. That is glorious. That's going to have to go in somewhere. And of course, my beautiful roses in gold. But, wait, there's more. I'm so excited because just in time this week, you won't believe what arrived. My order from camipaper.com.au with my beautiful yellow and white handmade roses. Ta-da, ta-da! Now, this is the Australian shop. Australia Mate has got this, but you can also find this on Mulberry Papers if you're in the US, under Whimsy it's called, this type of paper. You can spray the paper any color you like. As you know, I have done that numerously, but this one actually comes yellow and white. I know, I can't wait. Definitely going to be using that. And I did some more different mark making on different papers. That's really fun. I just love it. What colors are we going to put together? Well, definitely, clearly the yellow and black, probably yellow and white. This is a really nice piece with the yellow ochre, I would say, with the titanium, unbleached titanium and white. I pulled that on the gel plate. That's pretty nice. That'll work. Some other bronzy colors. I don't know, you know, it's quite endless. We'll have to just see. You know, I create these collages quite spontaneously, so never quite know till I start getting into it exactly how it's going to turn out. Yellow for me is probably the greatest challenge. I think I've found my kryptonite, because it's not a color that I use a lot on its own. Of course, I put a lot of gold into things, so does that count? A lot of things have got gold in it, so it kind of counts, but as a color on its own, I don't tend to use it a lot. So, you know, I might have to phone a friend to get through this week. Righto. So let's get started. There's definitely enough inspiration here to start. I got a few ideas, and let's make our 8 collages. Yay! So glad you're here to help me. Okay, so what are we going to start with? I'm really loving these beautiful painted tissues. You know how I do that. I showed you numerous times. Drop the inks on the tissue, spray it with water. This has got some of the liquid sunshine, I think it's called. That's the gold mine. And then that's definitely white that I threw on there as well. Just beautiful. Loving it. I could start with that. Or some of these papers. That's a lot brighter, that yellow. This one's a lot more ochre. That's pretty nice too. I like that. And I love the ones with the little bit of bling. Of course I do. Little bit of gold pigment on the plate. That is a beautiful jelly print. So we have to make a decision. What are we going to start with? Oh man, maybe we'll just start with this one, right? Why don't we just start with this one? We could start with this one. Let's put it on this side. I'm liking the textural elements of this print. It's got some white and some, it was a print already and I just did a little bit more extra with the beautiful yellow ochre, and I like it. I like the feel of it. It also has a little bit of gold spray on it, but only a tiny bit because my shimmer spray bottle is now empty. I know. It's tragic. Are we going to get dramatic straight away? Well, you know, we probably could. So this is from when I started with yellow, I ended with black. What can I say? What can I say? It just happened like that. But if I'm going to put this on, this lovely textured paper, I think I could have a quite dramatic base on it, on the bottom half. Let's do that. Okay, let's do that. So if I put that there, I like this bit here, a little pop of white amongst the darkness. That's kind of cool, fun. We could put that there, and we could put like that top section like that. Yes, we could. That could work. And then we could add, well, I've got some left over from last week, a tiny little bit of this beautiful paper. Libby had sent it to me. I sprayed it with honey, and it looks fabulous. We could put that across there. Yes, I'm feeling that. Those colors are working. And then I think we should add some bling rings on there. Well, what happened was, so Anita put a post in the Facebooks, and it was the third week, which was black, white, and gold, or black, white, and metallic. Didn't have to be gold. Anyway, she called it black, white, and bling. Ooh, what about this one? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. Black, white, and bling. And then she had some round circles. I'm like, look at those bling rings. So now I'm going to need to add some bling rings onto my page. What about this one on here? Is that too much? Too much? Nah, never too much. Absolutely loving the mark making on this page. The yellow against the black. You know it was going to get dramatic quick. So let's go with that. Let's just do it. Okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to put these on here, and then we're going to add some bling rings because we just have to. And then that'll match the circles on that side. We might put something else on here just to soften that, because that's pretty intense, man. There's no way, there's no hope for me if I'm already starting this intense. We're supposed to be bright. Yellow is a happy color. Yeah, whatever, Trevor. All right, I'm going to glue these down, and then we're going to do some bling rings, and then I'll try and do something more happy with the next spread, I promise. Okay, so my background pages have glued down beautifully. They look really cool. I know, considering we're struggling with the color, I'm thinking they look all right. What do you think? There? Down a bit. Okay, just down a bit. What about there? Now, this page is looking beautiful, but I'm definitely going to add something to it just to soften it and give it another layer. I'm loving these colors on this page. This particular gel print looks fabulous. That's worked really well. And then I'm going to definitely add some mark making, I call them bling rings, onto this section, but that'll have to dry a little bit. And also, once I do that, I won't be able to turn it over and do the next pages. So I think I might wait on that idea and do the other two pages first and then come back and add to them. Yes, I think we'll do that because we can't stop now. We only just got started. I'm only just getting into the yellow zone. So, you know, we need to keep going. I'm going to find something for there. Now, I sprayed this beautiful spiral paper with some shimmer spray, but clearly not much shimmering going on. The spray was empty, but I'm kind of liking the way it would work really well in that it'll create a texture, but it wouldn't really add any other color. So I'm going to just do it. How do I want it on there is a good question. We need to just tear some off. So I'm thinking it'll be fine. I'm going to put it there on the edge, and I'm going to put it over this edge and trim it later. I think it should work okay, because it will probably dissolve a lot into the background, and that could look really cool. It could. It might. I'm always so hopeful. Now those textures underneath in the strong colors of the yellow and the black should show through this lacy paper quite well. I'm thinking, in my theory, that's my theory. It should come through once it's dry and look quite beautiful. If it doesn't, you're going to hear about it. And that's all there is to it. Right, well, I'm going to give that a blast with my heat gun so I can trim it up and move on. And this as well. And then we're going to come back and do some beautiful bling rings along there. But I do want to do another 2 pages before I do that, because then I'll have to leave that to dry. And, you know, we're on a roll. We're moving along. We can't stop now. Righto, let's do that then. Hope this dries the way I want it to. Right, so these pages are looking great. They are still damp, but they're dry enough to be able to move on to the next couple of spreads, because I'm going to come back to these ones and add some highlights on them. But I'm loving the backgrounds. I'm just loving the look of it. It looks fabulous. I pulled out this circle piece here while it was wet before I dried it, because I just wanted to have a change in the shape. I didn't want it to be one whole block of that particular shape. I love the beautiful circles coming through from underneath and the variation of the yellow and the gold and the bronze. And I'm thinking if I put some circles here, I might definitely add a one there as well. You see where I'm headed with that? I really think that'll work well, but I don't want to do that yet because I want to do the other 2 pages, and I'm busting. Oh my gosh, busting to use my beautiful Handmade Roses in yellow and white. Yes, I am. Look how pretty that is. See? I can do pretty. So we're going to turn it over for now and do the next 2. And then we're going to come back and add the beautiful sparkly bits onto these 2 pages. Yay! So I'm thinking, what about a cluster of the beautiful roses instead of just pulling one off as a single rose? What about if I put a couple of them on there? What do you think about that idea? Maybe 3. I could probably fit nearly 3 on there like that. Oh, a little bit of 4th there. What about that? What about that? I'm liking that idea. So if I do that, what do I put underneath? I'm thinking something bright. Maybe this one. Has it got enough contrast to it? Or this one. That one might be all right too. It's hard to know until you see it coming through. What about the one with the gold? That could work too. Though you may not see that gold pigment coming through. That's a pretty nice print. Pretty darn. I'm going to keep that one out for something. Maybe this one because it's got the contrast of the white and the yellow ochre. Let's start with that. And if we don't like it, we can just add something else to it. If it doesn't have enough oomph, we'll fix it, right? Let's start with that idea anyway. Not sure how that's going to look. Now on this side, what about if we use one of the roses and put it on something more dramatic? What about some of the mark making? Ooh, that could work. What about something like this? I know, it's dramatic, I know. But it could be fun. Do I? No, I don't. Okay. Oh, what about some of our tissue? Could put the beautiful tissue on there. That'd work too. Could put that on there and put one of the lovely, I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. Maybe we want to put it under the 3 cluster. What do you yes. Maybe that's just not going to be able to be seen. Okay, all right. I'm going with it. Let's put it under the cluster. And then let's do something else with the other side. Maybe more dramatic. What about this one with the bronze? I do like the bronze. I love these big marks from the gel plate. That was really fun. I was literally throwing the paint around. I know. It was the end of the day. What can I say? And we could put maybe Do I want another one on there? I don't know that I do, you know. I don't know that I'm feeling it. Not feeling it. So maybe I'll just start with this idea because this one's working. And then we'll keep at this side because, oh, that's all right. I don't mind that piece. What else can I pull out? What about if we try this one? I know. That's how you got to do it, people. You just got to try the different papers. What about that with that? That could be all right because then it's not so full on. I don't mind that idea. Yeah, that one's okay. Do we still want the rose? Are we still into the rose idea on top? You know, that could work. I don't mind this idea. All right, so I'm going to put this down because I am loving this beautiful painted tissue. That's definitely going down. And then a cluster of these roses are going on here like that somehow. And then we'll think about this side. All right, let's do that. So the background's down and it looks fabulous. The jelly prints are so textural and full of mark making. And oh my gosh, couldn't you just like paint marks on the gel plate like forever? Like seriously, I just love it so much. Sometimes I do rather go late into the night with my jelly printing frenzies. So I was rummaging around. I'm like, what else am I going to put on the page? I do have this. This is up for consideration. That looks all right. And then I'd like to continue my circles. So that one is the T. That looks all right. I'm actually really liking that. I didn't expect to. Okay, so that's an option. I'm liking that option. That's the honey. It's all a bit same, but it is nice. It goes well. Or, of course, we can just put a beautiful white. That will dissolve quite a lot, so maybe it won't really have much impact. Overcast here in New Zealand today, so sorry about it if the lighting's not so great. Because I don't know where the sun went. I pull out all the yellow and the blue sun goes and hides. I mean, come on, work with me. Seriously. Oh, that's such a nice piece. That's a stencil of Cellular Membrane by PM Artist Studio. That's what that stencil is. And I sprayed it with the beautiful Eyes inks in Honey and Tea or Honey and Coffee onto the fabulous handmade Harakiki paper. Quite a few episodes back that happened. Actually, you probably saw me do that. You see? And then the pieces go in the scrap boxes and then they come out for a later time. It's awesome. It works so well. Righto, we're doing it. Oh, that's such a great shape, that one. And it's quite dramatic compared to those ones in the honey color. All right, so we're going to put that right there. And I did leave the centerpiece because I might put something in it. Because those pieces have still got the centerpiece. So, you know, a little consistency, people. Probably put a gold bling ring in that, I'm thinking. That's where I'm thinking. Once it's all dried. So, unfortunately, oh man, now we have to play the waiting game for all these papers to dry before we can throw some paint around and have some fun. Okay, that's just what we're going to have to do. So let's wait for these beautiful papers to dry properly, boring, and then we'll add some of the beautiful bling. Yay! Okay, well, these pages are dried. Now it's a little bit later and I've run out of natural light, so hopefully this light looks okay. But it's the only time today that the whole place went quiet. I mean, seriously, could you just give me some space? I need a little me time. So, oh my gosh, the household's now quiet and I can finally sneak back into my studio, which at least the page is dried. This came up really nice. See how cool you can see the spiral lines there of that paper and the rest of it dissolved into it. That's kind of cool. It's a little flat. It needs something. Definitely needs something. And I want to do my bling rings over here. So what do you use when you're putting circles in your artwork or your collage? There's various options. You've seen my favorite circle making template. So besides those, there is always the really expensive options of hello toilet rolls. These come in such incredible abundant supplies, yes, in my household. And they work really well. And they're a bit thin. I would like something a bit thicker. So they are an option, but I use them quite often to put paint on paper and in my journal. But I'm wanting something a bit thicker to put on here. So I think I'm going to go with this. This I actually cut off this roll, which is like a roll of dishcloths. And then when you finish the roll, there's the tube at the end. You can get tubes from so many different products. It's endless. These are such incredible, affordable tool making equipment. It's hilarious. I know. But they work really well. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to use just some golden fluid paint. And I'm going to put some bling rings on my page right here. The page is nice and dried, which is good. And I like this particular tube because it's a bit thicker than the toilet roll, even though toilet rolls work. So do we want interlocking shapes or separate shapes? That's pretty nice, hey? Even though if it's not a complete circle, I'm still happy with that. I like that mark. I think we're going to have interlocking, yeah. I like the way the whole bling rings was coined from a discussion in the Facebook post. I love that. I love my group. It's so much fun. I love that there's so much interaction and there's so many fabulous artworks and collages and paintings and all sorts of things that the beautiful members are posting, and it just makes me happy. Look at that. That's awesome. So that came from a comment on bling rings. I know. I just love it. It's a great word. It's a great terminology and it's fun. What can I say? Now, it'll be a little more bright and zingy because I've got my light on, because I ran out of daylight, because, oh my gosh, some days, you know, you fight for the right to create. You fight for the time and the space to get in, and it's really the same for all of us. So don't stress out if that's your reality. Just make sure you get into your studio and make it a priority because you need it. Man, I need it. I'm liking that. That's okay. I like that they're not perfect circles. I like that there's some bits that are missing. It's a bit thick on that side and it's not complete on that side. I'm liking that. That's okay. I love this top section right here of this particular paper, and I love this bit here. I think the page is beautiful. There's my yellow. I'm on track. Now this side, it's a bit flat. Oh, maybe we'll put a bling ring over there. Let's put one here. Because I pulled that piece out. I didn't want a solid block of the paper. I wanted it to have more of an interesting shape. Yes! That's fantastic. Oh, I really like this one. This one's working well. And because it's thicker and more solid, it'll survive with the paint better. I just cut it off there. And, you know, hello, pretty simple. Yeah, I'm happier with that. Now, is there anything else I wanted to add to this? You know, I was thinking about adding maybe a piece of this beautiful textured paper that I had blinged up. Yes, I did. I was thinking of maybe adding it. Yes. What do you think? What do you think? A little bit just there. I love the texture of it. I love the color of it. And I think we need it. This looks good. I like that. I like the way you can see the spirals. And the spiral pattern there. That little mark making looks good. Yep, okay, I'm going to add it. and then I'll be happy with both these pages. Yay! So I'm just going to put that there on the edge. I like that. I like the way it just adds another texture and another color to the page. I like the multiple layers. Righto. So that's just a little bit of a touch and an add to those pages. And at least I put the camera on and put the lights on. And you could see, because sometimes I just come in here and sit down and do it and then tell you about it the next day. But, you know, I thought I'd just bring you in here. There we go. Loving my bling rings. Yes, you need them in your world. They're fabulous. I like the interlocking shapes. That's worked really well. And those pages are done. Yay, I like the single one there. It looks fabulous and I'm happy. Okay, I'll let it dry. And then we'll be back at it tomorrow, finishing the other pages that are almost done. And then we'll be moving on to the next ones. Yay! Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how my pages dried up. Look how beautiful my bling rings are. I absolutely love the look of these. Yes, I know. You too can go out and get yourself some very expensive tools for printmaking. Yay! Day 1, day 2 of our yellow theme. Oh man, I'm telling you, this is not an easy challenge, this one. I'm surrounded by all these sunny colors, but I don't know what's wrong with me. Why do I find it so difficult? Anyway, at least the sun came out today, so that's helpful. All right, so these 2 pages, which I did last night, are not quite there yet. I put this in the middle, which was one of my, you know, my beautiful circles printed with my secret circle maker. But it's a bit flat, so I might redo that with some paint, I'm thinking. And this is great. I love the yellow and white handmade roses. They look fabulous. And I love the painted tissue that is the background, but it's all just yellow. So I don't know. I'm going to have to put something else on there because it's just all a bit much yellow. All right. Well, let's deal with that and put some paint on there because that might make me a little happier. And I have my fabulous secret circle maker. So I think we'll just put a stamp on with that. Golden iridescent bronze fine, my absolute favorite paint. It really is good for us to challenge ourselves with different colors that we find not so easy to work with, because it stretches your creativity, and also you'll ask yourself the questions, why does this color not come so naturally to me to use? Why do I not use it? So, you know, they're good questions to ask yourself as you're creating this challenge. I know that some of you find different colors more challenging than others, and so do I. And this is my kryptonite, this color yellow. Anyway, we're up to day 3 and 4, so we're doing okay. We're almost halfway. So let's take a print. Oh, yes. Feeling a lot happier about that with my secret circle maker. And I'll just fill in a couple of the blanks. It just makes me a bit happier to have a bit more color and texture and shape on there, because I glued a little circle on there, but it just wasn't really doing it. Just wasn't giving me the impact I wanted. That's much better impact. I really like the raised paint because I'm textural. I love the texture of that. I think it's fabulous. And that's okay. Righto. Now, what are we going to do with this? I was thinking maybe some of this fabulous print. This was a jelly print, the very last one that I pulled to clean off the plate. And as you can see, it's got everything from the yellow ochre. It's definitely got some Indian yellow. It's got the black, it's got the bronze, it's got all of the little bits and pieces that I had been using on the gel plate through my printing session. So I'm a bit tempted to use some of this because it looks so interesting. It's a little beat up, because it had all the paint was kind of stuck on the plate, and I used it with some quinacridone nickel azo gold. I used that because it pulls up the paint nicely, and I used it on the tissue, which really grabs all the bits. So I'm thinking maybe some of this might be really cool on there because it's so interesting. I don't really know until I'm kind of, putting it on there if I'm going to like it or not. But that's what I'm thinking. Just a little something in all that yellow. What about if I just rip it to shreds? It'll be a lot easier to work with. Oh, man. There we go. Rip it to pieces. So, I don't know. It's just an idea. I was even thinking maybe of spreading some across there. That's not a bad idea. I'm gelling with this idea. But we need it to kind of be a certain shape. Man, that's fixing it. Just rip it. I'm liking that coming over on this side. I'm liking that kind of rough edge, and I like the colors are working. Yes. Okay. Oh, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. We'll get through this. So I'm thinking something like that. I'm liking these jagged bits. Of course, I don't want it to go over my really nice white rose. So where's my pen? Here. Let's get a bit of water on this. We need it to come around like this because I don't want it to go over my beautiful, lovely white rose that I put on last because the first white rose that was on there got absorbed into the yellow and it became quite yellow. I'm like, where's the white gone? Man. So then I put the white rose on and it looks cool. Yes, this is working. Oh, thank gosh, I love it when it works. Right, that's good. It's going to save me from all of this yellow. That's going to go like that. That's going to work really well in that shape. Loving that shape. The color's fabulous. I like the jagged. Anyway, that's that. Okay, that's what we're doing because that makes me feel a lot better. It's not so much yellow. I know it's yellow week, but I don't know. It's not easy, man. Righto, I'm going to stick that down. That'll make me happy. But with these 2 pages, and then we're on to the next 2. Yay! Can't wait to pull out some more yellow jelly prints. Yippee! Okay, so it's dry enough to keep moving on. I did have a little play with this section. I wasn't quite happy with it being too dull. So I put a little black circle in the middle with one of my other very expensive mark making tools. That'll be my endless lids of the spray bottles that I'm consuming at a very fast pace. You see, I dipped it in black and put it on there and it's awesome. I wanted to give it some depth in the center. I then sprayed it and dropped in a bit of powdered pigment. I'm a lot happier. It's not my favorite page, but I think it's enough, passable enough to move on. I mean, let it go, let it go, let it go. So this side, I'm liking this paper. That was a good idea, this gel print there with all of those incredibly beautiful little bits and pieces of the cleanup from the gel plate and tissue. And you can see the texture of that rose underneath. These ones look beautiful with all the multiple layers of the yellow and the white roses. Okay, I'm happy. Oh, we can do this. We can do this. Right, we're going to be adventurous now. We're going to move on to the next page. And what are we going to start with? I'm going to be bold. Yes, I am. I'm just going to jump right in, look, and have courage. Now, yellow is a beautiful color. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people love yellow. Apparently, yellow releases the serotonin in your brain, which is the happy hormone. You know, like the sun. If you go out into the sun, the light hits the back of your retina and it releases the serotonin and it makes you feel better. Well, apparently, yellow is supposed to be like that. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why it doesn't make me feel like that. Because it doesn't. Maybe I'm just special. I don't know, man. Vincent van Gogh loved yellow, and he's one of my favorite artists. He loved it so much, he just kept painting it all the time in the south of France. He painted, I think, overall, he painted 11 paintings that had sunflowers in them. And in 1888, he painted his famous sunflowers, which he painted as a beautiful present for his friend, Paul Gauguin, to come when he was going to come and stay with him in the yellow house, south of France. He wanted to open like an artist kind of, retreat, hang out. Let's get together, make amazing art. Good idea, don't you think? And he wanted to do that, and he was renting this yellow house because he liked it. It made him happy. And he invited his friend, Paul Gauguin, to come and stay with him. Why is this not working? I'm telling you, yellow hates me. Seriously. Anyway, Vincent invited his mate, and he painted his famous sunflowers in 1888 and 89. The ones that are really famous now that you can buy for mega $1,000,000 that at the time nobody actually wanted. Those sunflowers, yes, that's when he painted them to put in the room for his friend Paul Gauguin to come and stay at the yellow house. Right, so yellow was happening for Vincent. He loved it. He wanted to use that colour to make himself feel better and the people around him. Unfortunately for Vincent, the magic of yellow didn't quite work out, just like this flaming print. What the heck? Oh man, just go flat, would ya? And then you got a tear. So it didn't work out with Paul Gauguin. No, but he did paint some beautiful sunflowers, and for a moment he was happy. But then came the infamous ear slashing incident, and it all went downhill for Vincent. But what can I say? He loved it. He was passionate about yellow. It made him feel happy. He wanted to capture the illumination of living in the south of France. All right, well, I don't have the same affiliation for yellow like Vincent did. I just don't. It doesn't make me happy. It makes me irritated, actually. I don't know why that is. Why is that? Maybe I'm just strange. I don't know, man. But one way to tone that colour down is to use dressmaking pattern. Do you use dressmaking pattern in your collages? Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I love it because it is a cheap resource. You pick up the dressmaking patterns at the thrift store for so little money. They are incredibly transparent, so you can just use them to create another layer on your collages. They look fabulous. And when you've got a screaming yellow page, they can knock the color back. So, and what's even more exciting is if you can get a piece with all the lines in it. Let's see if I had more success this time. The lines and the writing, I love that. I think it's fabulous. So I'm putting the dressmaking pattern right over the top of my yellow print because, oh man, it's just too yellow. That's why. But oh man, God bless poor Vincent. The yellow house didn't work out how he'd hoped. He just wanted to create an artist community where people of like mind could get together and hang out and create art and discuss art. And that is a beautiful thing. That's what we get to do now virtually online with our Facebook group all over the world. Don't you just love it? You can't take these things for granted. Because our beautiful forerunner, dear Vincent, didn't get to have such an opportunity. And if people had been a little bit more patient with him and perhaps a little bit kinder, I'm really sure things would have worked out a lot differently. Just saying. He was awkward and socially inept, and, you know, no one had the patience to be bothered with him. And it didn't end well for him. So, you know, kindness, people. Kindness. That's my word for the day. Show a little kindness. Right, that's better, right? It's not so screaming yellow. So I might let that dry, because what am I going to do with it next? We need something here. I'm loving these lines. I'm loving that I just slapped on. You know, I wasn't paying a heck of a lot of attention because I was too busy yapping about Vincent. But I think that looks pretty cool. Loving these lines here. They look cool. So we need some kind of feature element here. Might have to go and have a rummage and see what I can find. I'm not sure what else I want to add, but I liked this piece out of my scrap bag from last week. This is a stencil from PM Artist Studio, and last week I made this when I was doing the orange pages, and I just love it. It was my new stencil. It just arrived, and yay, we have to use some more. That's a cool piece. So I don't know what else I want to do with this page just yet, but I've got this side to attack, so I'll think about it. But I'm definitely putting that right there. And I love that. It works well with those other letters. And we'll see. We'll see what brilliant idea I come up with else to add to this page, which is looking now orangey yellow. Oh, man, seriously. You got to laugh. You just do. You just have to laugh. It's funny. Righto. So that's going on there, but I don't quite know what's going on next. So I'm going to attack the other side and wait for the brilliant inspiration to come to me, because it will. It'll come. Righto. That looks beautiful. Loving that stencil. That's the crosses. Something about Texas. It's awesome. I just love it. It's a fabulous stencil. Now, what am I going to do over on this side? Yes, I'm going to start with something brave. I'm thinking this piece of paper here. I'm going to start with that. Not sure exactly where I'm heading after that. This has got a beautiful layers of ink from the gel plate, and then powdered pigment, which is really nice. So I'm just liking it. It was just sitting there, and I'm thinking, let's just do that. We'll go with that, and then something's going to come down here. Maybe something blue. Should we go with some blue and yellow? You know, maybe we should. Oh yeah. All right, I'm going to go and find something that we can do in blue and yellow. Just have a little moment with that. Righto, that's got to go to there. So we'll rip that off. We'll get that down, and then we'll see what else I can find as I have a little rummage around. I love it when they're sitting in front of me. It's so inspiring. That's a beautiful piece, that one. That's going to look real nice with something amazing down here. Okay, let's make it happen. So I gave the pages a blast with the heat gun because it was all just getting a bit sticky. So it's a lot drier now. I also put another random piece of the dressmaking pattern over this side to try and, you know, taper that yellow, but it looks very Indian yellow now. It was pretty sure it was bright like that, but you know, it's just gone Indian yellow. Well, oh, you win some, you lose some. That's a beautiful piece. Still loving that. So I'm going to add some more papers to this side. I'm just not sure. I'm not feeling sure today about too much. So bear with me as we have a little play. That could work. That's been painted with my gold mine. Love it. That could work. Yes, that always works. It's okay. Still not arriving at a place where I'm happy. So you know, you just have to keep going if that's what's happening. If you're working with a color that you're like, I don't know so much, you just have to keep trying options until you find something that you go, yes, that'll be okay. Does it help? I don't know. I need some white. I like white with yellow. So maybe some white. Some of the beehive paper, which I love. I do like white with it. What about a couple of these? What about a whole heap of these? What about we just stick the whole sucker on there? You know, that's what I'm feeling. Well, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. What about we just stick the whole sucker on there, just like that? Am I covering? They go really quite transparent, so you'll still see all of that glorious texture underneath. Is it okay that it's crooked? I don't know. Can I handle crooked today? I don't know. What about we just go straight then so I can cope? I don't mind that idea. That's okay. All right. Blow it. I'm going to do it. It actually might look all right, you know. We might be able to cope. And by we, I mean me. Oh, man. Righto, doing it. Look, I'm committed. It's happening. It's going down. It's going on the page. There we go. It's on the page. It's down now. It's too late. It's too late. Can't do anything about it now. She's down. She's on. She's on. I'm learning a lot about myself today. Oh, man, I tell you. This has been a fun challenge, but it sure has been a challenge. If you're not challenging yourself, then you're not expanding your creativity. So if it's difficult, well, good. Yeah, I say that to you because I'm having difficulty. So why should I be alone? Right. I'm liking that. I don't know about that. I liked it before, but I don't know if I like it now. But I'm loving the beehive paper on it. That's making me a heck of a lot happier. Just need something down there. What about, ooh, that's kind of nice. But have we got enough circles on there? Yeah, thinking so. What about this paper? This paper is really nice. It's a nice color. I could put it there on those lines there so you just see a few of those lines, but it just adds a little something else to the edge of the page. Yes. Yes. All I'm saying is yes, I like this idea. Yeah, well, I really like the marks on this. I like the triangles. I think they're really cool. Righto, I'm going to do it. Just going to do it. I was a bit worried there for a minute that I wasn't going to be able to pull it together. But I think we're going to be okay. This is a beautiful paper. I love the little triangle shapes on it. It's very textured. It's a great color. It works really well with these tones. And I think it's a great way to finish this page. Yay. I think that looks great. I love the dressmaking pattern, the gold. As it dries, you'll be able to see all of these textures underneath a lot clearer. It's all just a bit wet at the moment, but that's okay. It will dry. Everything dries eventually. So over here, I'm thinking I pulled out this beautiful handmade paper from Nepal, from camipaper.com.au. Don't forget the AU. And it's just beautiful. So I've cut round this piece here. I cut round the trees. Don't know if you can see that in the pattern, but there's a beautiful clump of trees. Trees. It's all trees, actually, looking at it closer. And flowers. Trees and flowers. So I'm going to put this piece right here. It's sitting beautiful against that top yellow piece with the gold pigment. And then I think we need just a little symbol of freedom in the top here, which I usually represent with birds. So I'm going to go pull out one of my little bird stencils to put a freedom image there. And the blue and the yellow with an image of freedom is something that we're just wishing for the world right now. Just a little bit of hope. Right, so that's what we're going to do. That's beautiful. I'm happy with that. I'm going to glue that down and I'm going to find my little bird stencil. Right, so I've glued down my beautiful Nepalese paper. My gosh, that is gorgeous. And look at that stunning blue. It just looks so beautiful against the yellow and the gold pigment. And it's just rather glorious. I'm loving it. Blue and yellow, symbols of freedom. Come on, people. I can't believe that we could just keep repeating our same mistakes. Oh, man. Just can't fathom it at all. Now, I've taped off the birds that I don't want. This is my favorite stencil with a cluster of birds. Can't remember where I got it from. I've had it so long and I've used it so much. I just love it. So I'm going to, of course, use my favorite iridescent golden bronze fine and make some beautiful birds in the sky as a symbol of freedom. And hope that, good sense does prevail. Righto. Ta-da, ta-da! Ah, beautiful. Just loving it. They look glorious. It's a great color with this beautiful blue. It's working really well. And we'll see how good this comes up as it continues to dry. Right, now I'm going to have to let my pages dry and then we're on to the last page spread. Oh, can you believe it? I've never been so relieved. All right, I'll go through my gel prints and see what I have left from that crazy printing frenzy and look at what we're going to do for the last pages of week 6, yellow. Yay! So what have I learned? I love the blue and yellow. It's a beautiful combination. I like white with yellow. I love that. I find that very fresh. I also like the earthy tone colors with yellow. Of course, I love the gold bling. Absolutely. These are looking nice, these earthy tones with the yellows. And then there's the white. Yes, you see, I'm leaning in that direction for sure. I love the black with the yellow. And this one, I really love this page. I love the textural elements there. Again, I've got the black. Yeah, I'm seeing a pattern here. Got the bling. So I'm doing okay. Black and white with yellow, I can cope with. Gold, I can cope with. Earthy tones, I can cope with. We're doing all right. What about we push ourselves a little further? I know. Get a little more adventurous and yellow and purple is a real stunning combination. They are complementary colors on the color wheel and apparently they go really well together. So I put this print last night on this purple background with the yellow gold of the stencil butter. Look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. It pops. It says, hi. How you going? You want to know me? Yes, it does. Also, I was experimenting with, okay, I know gold works stunning with yellow and gold technically is a yellow color. But what about silver for some bling? So I put this silver stencil on this yellow jelly print. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I'm liking it. I'm thinking it's okay. It's a pretty stencil. It's actually from Chinese website, wish.com. It took forever to get to New Zealand, but it did arrive eventually. I'm liking that. I think it's pretty. That actually could look really nice with the blue and yellow. Look at that. Yes, that does look really nice. What about if we put that here like that? Chop it off. Or what about if we chop it off a bit further and add a little of the blue as well? I really like this. This is beautiful. I just need a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Maybe trim that there. Put it next to that. That silver goes really well with the yellow. I really like that. I always tend to, first of all, grab gold for sure. Always do. But the silver is a really nice, refreshing change with the bright yellow. I think I can live with that. Righto, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to trim it a bit so I can put just a little piece of the blue and yellow down the side because I like it. Righto, okay, I'm going to get adventurous. I'm going to put purple and yellow on this side. And if we're going to get really dramatic, let's get really dramatic. Look at that. Oh, man. I mean, seriously. I hope you got your sunglasses on. That is so bright. I could put the light on and it'd be even brighter. Let's not. I didn't bring my sunglasses. I'm going to get really dramatic and I'm going to put purple with the yellow like that. And then I've pulled out some shapes. I don't know about you, but sometimes I do a project that doesn't go as well as I thought it was going to in my mind, right? Does that ever happen to you? No, it wouldn't happen to you. Has happened to me a few times. And I thought that this particular project was going to go a certain way and it just didn't. So I've ended up with a whole heap of these shapes from this particular project. And I pulled out these purple ones because I'm like, okay, purple and yellow. Shall we do it? Shall we do it? And put that there like that? Okay. I mean, seriously, you need your sunglasses, but let's give it a go. Purple and yellow. Maybe I could use a lighter yellow. That's so intense, that one. What about this one? Is this one going to be better? Oh, that might be better. Yes, that might be better. What do you think? Okay, I can live with that. That's a little lighter. See, that's more the Indian yellow. Let's talk about those poor cows. But this one's a lighter yellow. And that's going to, yeah, I can cope with that. Righto, I'm going to stick all this down and then we're going to see how amazing the yellow looks with purple and with blue and with silver. And you're going to be, oh man, that's amazing. All right, that's what we're doing. Let's do that. So my pages are stuck down and almost dry. I gave them a little trim, which is not good until they're actually properly dry. I'm loving this blue and yellow with the silver, and I'm really happy with that. I'm going to leave it alone. I could torture it some more, but I'm not going to. This paper has got some beautiful yellow. It also had some gold and some white. I think I used both the Indian yellow and also the yellow ochre, and it had some gold pigment on it as well. I know, I threw everything at it. So I think the paper in itself is beautiful and the stencil looks great and it matches beautiful with the blue. I'm going to leave it alone. Now this page, it's not so lucky. This is a Stencil Girl stencil. It's one of my favorite. It's called Patina and Lace. I love it. I've used it a lot. It's just a glorious stencil. So I stuck my leaves on. They're okay. You know, they're all right. They're not bad. And the yellow and purple's kind of, I don't know. It's not my thing. That's all I got for you. I don't know, man. But I might just have a little play with these leaves. They're only just dried. I was thinking, what about if we added some patterning to them? You know, there's so many things we could do. I could always add some bling rings on top. That always looks cool. But I'm like, maybe I'll just try adding some patterning to it. What about that idea? I don't know if this is a great idea, but it's an idea, right? Okay, well, I think that looks better. I don't think I'm ever going to love it as much as I loved last week's orange pages, so I could probably stop now and quit tormenting myself. I think it's okay. I do like it better with a little bit of the pattern on it. I think that's cool. This looks nice. That looks beautiful. So there you go. We've finished week 6. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And we have completed 46 collages. Oh my gosh, we're nearly halfway. That's fantastic. I don't think I realized that. That is fantastic. We are doing so well. Yay. So I hope you enjoyed this week's. I know I've been a little bit angst this week with my whole yellow thing, but you know, everybody has their colors that they're not so fussed on. I mean, it's beautiful. It makes most people happy. I don't know. It's just something wrong with me. Anyway, I'm glad that you joined me. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see your beautiful yellow inspired collages in the Facebook group, because you can show me how to do it better. I know that you can, and you probably won't struggle as much as I have. Thanks for joining me. I really hope you come back next week, where we'll be creating another 8 beautiful collages in our 100 days of collage. Yay! We're doing so well. Don't forget to post in the Facebook group your beautiful collages. Oh, and you can subscribe if you like to follow the journey, and hit the bell to receive the notifications, because you don't want to miss out on any of this fun. All right. Thanks so much for joining me this week. Yay! See you next week in the studio. Hold the phone, caller. I know I said I was going to let you go, and you can go. You can flick off the video at any time, but I just had a thought as I was getting up from the table that this aubergine paper would look amazing on here. Absolutely amazing, and I have to do it. I just have to. I just think it would help me to not be slapped in the face with this full-on yellow. I know, I'm still struggling, I know. So I'm thinking, oh yes, this is so going to work. Look at that. That is just beautiful. I've used that before, and one of the colors might have been red or orange. Can't remember. But look how beautiful that is. Yes, I got up and looked in my scrap box. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. So that is just glorious. I love it. So much better. Oh, I think it was just the amount. But now it's fantastic. I'll show you when it's dried. And I'm going. I'm backing away from the table. And it's going to be okay. Yay.
3,000 miles from home, trying to say that I will get there soon. 30 days I walk down this way, singing my madness to the moon. I met a cat on a tree, and it talked to me about things we don't see. I asked it, how do I know which is the right way to go to get me home? And it said, don't look for a reason, don't